Hello, my name is Sergey Nikolenko, and I'm the chief scientist at Neuromation. And this being one of the last talks, you're all tired, you all want to get out of here, so I'll get straight to the point. And the point, as always, is where will the money come from? So I personally come from the research community. I come from the machine learning and AI community. And in AI, in all of these technological startups that are flourishing now, Amazon Web Services is considered to be a very cost-effective way to get computational power to train modern machine learning models like deep neural networks. And on Amazon, a 6 GPU farm is sold for $3 to $4 an hour. On the other hand, if you take the same farm and put it to mining Ether or Bitcoin, you will get at most an order of magnitude less, right? So there is a gap here, a gap between using your computational power for simply mining cryptocurrency and using it to train actually relevant machine learning models. So I believe we can bridge this gap, and we will make knowledge mining much more profitable than simply mining cryptocurrency, and I will tell you why. So actually, as a researcher, I can assure you that modern deep neural networks are pretty good. And they can do lots of wonderful things. But still, we do not see wide adoption of these technological advances in all of the industries around the world. Why? One of the main bottlenecks here is that to train the models, you need lots and lots of labeled data. Case in point, we currently have an outstanding contract for automating the retail in Eastern Europe. By automation here, I mean we recognize goods sold at supermarkets on the shelves to check the shelf space, etc. So it's a large contract. It's about 7 million euros of revenue. But to fulfill it, we need to recognize about 170,000 different objects, right? And we estimate that about 30% of the cost will be simply the computational power needed to generate, I will talk about this later, and train the neural networks. So if you do the math, and we have, you will see that to train neural networks for this number of different objects, you need about 1 billion labeled photos, more than 1 billion labeled images. Where will this huge amount of labeled data come from? So far, the data has been mostly labeled by hand. This is a very laborious, time-consuming process. It can be crowdsourced, it can be outsourced, but still, it will never scale to 1 billion images. If you need to label 1 billion images by hand, you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars of cost and years of labor. So we, at Neuromation, present a completely new approach to training deep neural networks, which means that we train them on synthetic data. For example, in retail, we create a 3D model of a supermarket shelf. We put the 3D models of the bottles in there, and then, after this relatively small human labor, we have an endless source of automatic, perfectly labeled synthetic data. And I will stress that this data, since we generate it ourselves, is labeled with 100% accuracy, better than any human could. We can basically label every pixel on the picture. So this is a real breakthrough, and the mathematical problem here was to make what is called the learning transfer, to make the models trained on synthetic data work on real data, and we did that. But this imposes even higher computational costs. So I'm here to present to you the Neuromation platform, which will bring together you, the miners, who have the computational power, who have the computational resources, and two kinds of customers for you. One kind of customers will order the generation of synthetic data sets, and the other will be the AI researchers and practitioners who will train the machine learning models on this synthetic data. We aim to create the universal marketplace of neural network development and disrupt the industry for years to come. just to share a few of our plans to convince you that it is not limited to retail, we already have the retail automation lab live. We plan to open very soon the pharma and biotech lab for medical imaging and health applications like smart cameras, etc. And the enterprise automation lab for things like training flying drones or self-driving cars, because you cannot really get 1 million flying drones and crash 500,000 of them to get a labeled dataset. So the Neuromation platform will bring together you, the providers of computational resources, and us, the creators of synthetic data, and the AI practitioners who train the models. To do this, to implement this vision, we need a distributed marketplace that brings together all of these people and that supports millions of smart contracts between the providers of computational resources and the customers. And by now, the natural way to do it is to use blockchain. So we plan to extend Ethereum with our token, which we plan to mint soon. And we plan to have the ICO in about a month. So here is our team. We are all great, but I want to highlight specifically Andrew Rabinovich. We are very proud and lucky to have him on board because he is one of the people on image recognition in the world. He is one of the authors of TensorFlow and one of the initial developers of Google Images. I will skip the roadmap because you will learn it yourself as we quickly take over the world. But I do want to leave you with the ICO roadmap. We will start pre-sale on October 15th. The public ICO will begin in November. I will not tell you the exact date, but November. And then it will continue until either January the 1st or when the secret cap is reached. And if it is reached, we will announce it, and the token sale will end in 7 days. OK, so sorry, my last slide disappeared. So thank you very much. I want to leave you with the message that knowledge mining is much better than just mining cryptocurrency, and it will usher in a new era of distributed computing. Thank you.
So we have time for one question, if any of our judges have any questions. Ruslan.
Thank you. Did you think, guys, you're going to have a bunch of transactions, yeah,
right.
and really a lot of data processing. I think that Ethereum blockchain is not the best solution for you till the moment they don't have a lightning on top or something like this. Did you consider any other blockchains?
Yes, we have. For now, for the ICO, we plan to extend the Ethereum because it is basically the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
But if we reach one of the stretch goals, then we plan to develop our own implementation of blockchain, which will be specifically tailored for this sort of millions of microtransactions. I agree completely.
OK.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.